Welcome back, Raiders. I'm Slectigames, and today we're tackling the second boss in Mogushan Walls, FENG the Accursed. FENG channels the spirit of a weapon in each phase. The spirit of the fist, spear, staff, or shield, gaining unique abilities depending on the one he chooses. In this guide, we'll break down the fight on both normal and heroic difficulty, go over strategy, and wrap up with a quick quiz and summary. On 10 man, you want to bring 2 tanks, 2 healers, 1 to 2 melees, and 4 to 5 ranged. On 25 men, you bring 2 tanks, 5 healers, and 18 mixed DPS. For the normal mode of the encounter, you want the boss to be tanked at the edges of the room, and you want rangers and healers to be loosely spread around the middle of the room. In normal mode, there's a fixed order. The boss will automatically choose his weapons. He will always move from fist to spear to staff. On the pole, he will move to the fist weapons. On 66% boss health, he will move to the spear, and on 33% boss health, he will move to the staff. In practice, it's gonna look like this. You pull the boss, you see the different weapons appear, you see the fist weapons top right, the spear bottom right, and the staff bottom left. And as you see, the boss chooses the fist weapons on his own. To be able to understand how to deal with the different phases, we need to cover one more thing first. The 2 tank crystals, Nullification Barrier and Shroud of Reversal. 5 seconds into the fight, 2 crystals appear that are only clickable by tank players. When they click them, they gain an extra ability for the rest of the fight. If you choose the light blue, you get the Nullification Barrier, and dark blue gives you Shroud of Reversal. Nullification Barrier is a pretty straightforward barrier you can use to immune incoming damage or boss abilities. The Shroud of Reversal can be used to copy boss abilities he debuffed players with. This is used to copy stacks off of the other tank and put them back on the boss, and for one more very crucial part of the fight. As you just saw here, I moved out to the side, used a personal cooldown, and made sure I got hit by the lightning fist. That way the boss stuns me, and the tank with the Shroud of Reversal can copy that stun and use it on the boss himself. Alright, so let's go over the different phases. Every time FENG chooses a weapon, he gains 3 new abilities. During Spirit of the Fist, he gains Lightning Lash, a stacking debuff on the active tank, Lightning Fists, where he sends out lightning pulses that deal damage and stun players that are hit, and Epicenter, a raid-wide AoE that decreases your hit chance by 75% and deal more damage the closer you are to FENG. Lightning Lash and Lightning Fist are pretty straightforward abilities. Just want to tank swap when the damage gets too high, and you don't want to turn the boss into the raid to avoid stunning them. As for Epicenter, there are 3 ways of dealing with it. You already saw 2 of them earlier. The first one is to just stack up in melee and use the Nullification Barrier. The second one is to copy the stun with Shroud of Reversal and stun the boss during Epicenter. And the third one is to gain some distance to the boss, stack up in the middle of the room, and just heal through. At 66% boss health, the boss will unlearn all his abilities, move towards the spear, and learn 3 new abilities. He will learn Flaming Spear, again just a stacking tank debuff. He will learn Wildfire Spark. After 5 seconds you explode and leave a trail of flames behind. And Draw Flame. This is where he is trying to draw all the flames you placed before towards the boss. The spear phase is fairly easy to handle. You want to place all the fires towards the same side, so when he is trying to draw flames, you can just place the Nullification Barrier in between the flames and the boss, so they don't reach him. Important to note here is to let your melees know to not stand in between the flames and the boss, otherwise they might get one shot on draw flame. Should you not manage to block all the flames or don't have your Nullification Barrier up, the boss will just draw the flames, gain some stacks that result in raid-wide fire damage. But don't panic, even when he gets these stacks, this is very manageable damage, and with 1 or 2 raid cooldowns you should be more than fine. On to the last phase of the normal mode. On 33%, Tegan will forget all about previous abilities, move to the staff, and gain 3 new abilities. First up, Arcane Shock, a stacking tank debuff, who would have thought, Arcane Velocity, a big raid-wide AoE, and Arcane Resonance. The boss debuffs players in the raid with Arcane Resonance, which makes them deal arcane damage 6 yards around them. The staff phase is also fairly easy. You just wait out until people have the arcane resonance to be able to stack for the arcane velocity. You can use your nullification barrier or just big raid cooldowns to heal through it. Just be aware of the timing of arcane resonance and you're more than fine. This was it for the normal mode. Let's move on to the heroic mode. On heroic, FENG gains the strength of spirit. That does that every time he changes weapon, all his abilities will deal increased damage. There's also no longer a fixed order, he will just choose whatever weapon you put him closest to. Because there is an extra weapon, he will also no longer change the phase at 66 and 33%, but now at 75, 50 and 25%. Let's dive into the new weapon phase on heroic, Spirit of the Shield. When FENG picks up the shield, he again forgets about all his previous abilities and gains 3 new ones. First, Shadow Burn, you guessed it, a stacking tank debuff. Then, Siphoning Shield. When FENG throws his shield, he draws spirit from the raid members and these spirits try to reach this shield. When they do, they heal the boss. Chains of Shadow is just basically a shadow chain lightning that deals damage to the raids. Okay, so how do we play this new phase? Even though it might seem counterintuitive because there's a chain lightning in there, you basically just want to stack up in the middle and heal through the chain lightning. The boss throws his shield and all the spirits spawn on top of each other. You want to AoE them down as soon as possible. They are also fully CCable. So make sure you use all slows, stuns, knockbacks and mask grips to AoE these adds down as soon as possible. For every second shield FENG throws, your nullification barrier will be up. Should you place that barrier any time in this shield phase, the adds will disappear and shortly after the shield as well, so you don't have to deal with this mechanic at all. So Slecti, in what order do we kill the bosses? Well, I don't have the ultimate answer for you. I can tell you what order we used to do. We used to go from staff to shield to fist to flame. That being said, many groups also prefer to get rid of epicenter very early on. That means you just start on the fist phase, you use bloodlust and your cooldowns, and you only have to deal with 1, maybe 2 epicenters throughout the whole fight. At the end of the day, you need to figure out what your raid is really good at and where you might have some issues. Just choose the most difficult phase for you in the beginning and get it out of the way with bloodlust immediately. There's one last note to make here. Whenever the spear phase is coming up for your raid, make sure that you don't use your nullification barrier shortly before you swap phases. If you use the nullification barrier shortly before you enter the spear phase, you might not have it up for draw flame, and that is one of the more important abilities to block with the nullification barrier. Alright, that's all the mechanics, but can you actually remember them when it counts? Let's find out in the quiz coming up next. First question, where should I drop the fire during the spear phase? Right, far away from the boss and always in the same spot. Next question, where should I move during epicenter if barrier isn't up? Exactly, to the center of the room, away from the boss. Third question, what must I check before stacking during arcane velocity? You got it, make sure arcane resonance has gone out or split the raid early. Where do I stand during the shield phase in heroic? Yep, in the center of the room to stack all spirit spawns. Last question, how can melees die instantly during draw flame? Yes, if they stood in between the boss and the flames during the pull, they will get one shot. This was it for my FENG of the Accursed guide for the Mogushan Waltz. Feel free to leave a like, a comment, and if you like what you see and want to see more guides, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.